to the Metal Command Podcast.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Metal Command Podcast. Tony here with you, and here to talk about the topic of Kiko Loureiro, the other guitar player in Megadeth. He's been in the band for 9 years, and he took a leave of absence a little bit earlier this year due to some personal reasons, and now has extended that leave of absence, which has then caused speculation with a lot of heavy metal fans and Megadeth fans. Will he be back? Is this his way of leaving the band? Or is this truly what the press release says it is? Because, you know, folks, in many cases, and I've written press releases for bands in the past, press releases really don't give you the entire story in most cases. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because there are a lot of people that out there right now that think he's not even in the band anymore. Like this is like the easy way to say, okay, Kiko's out. Kiko Loureiro is a phenomenal guitar player, played in Angra for many years, played some stuff on the latest Angra album that just came out, which I'll be reviewing here on the show sometime in the next couple weeks after I really let the music sink in for me. And people are asking, people are thinking, this guy, is he out of Megadeth? Most people are saying that he's probably never coming back. Well, I mean, that's not 100% true, possibly. And I'm going to talk about that. But first, I'm going to read the press release that was put out. And here's what it says from Kiko's official Facebook page. Dear Megadeth fans, I want to share with you a decision that hasn't been easy for me. In September, I had to step away from the US leg of the tour for family reasons. Looking ahead, during 2024, we anticipate an even heavier touring schedule for Megadeth. And after thorough reflection and discussions with Dave Mustaine and Megadeth's management, we have collectively agreed that it is the right move to extend my absence. I don't want to hinder any of the band's plans or the hard work of all the incredible people involved in the tour. My 9 years with Megadeth have been an unbelievable journey, filled with countless pinch-me moments, unforgettable tours, a Grammy Award for Dystopia, a Grammy nomination, and various accolades for the sick, the dying, and the dead are just a few of the highlights. It is hard to put into words the magnitude of these experiences. I am sure any heavy metal fan can appreciate how incredible it is to play and create music in a band you grew up listening to and to share the stage with a guitar legend like Dave Mustaine, along with phenomenal musicians like James Lamenzo and Dirk Verbruin, not to mention our incredible crew. However, the most cherished aspect of these 9 years has been getting to know the incredible army of devoted Megadeth fans around the world. Your dedication is inspiring, and I have immense admiration and respect for all of you. Much love. See you soon, Kiko Loureiro. Okay, so let me just talk about Kiko really quick before I get into this press release. I think since he came into the band, Megadeth has put out 2 of their better albums. The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead and Dystopia are 2 very, very good records. And the albums that immediately preceded both of those albums were kind of very mediocre. I really wasn't into either one of them. And I've loved Kiko Loureiro's guitar playing because I've been a fan of Angra for close to 25 years now. So the guy is a fantastic guitar player, and I think a lot of you are really jumping the gun as to whether this guy is going to be out of the band or not. You know, because typically with Megadeth, if Dave has a problem with somebody, they're usually not around very long. I mean, they're gone. Like Dave Ellefson, I mean, it took all of about 2 days to get rid of him, right? For the incident that he was involved with that, you know, I'm not going to discuss in detail here. And if you look at other members of Megadeth, I mean, it's been pretty much announced, hey, we're gone. We're not in the band anymore. Either Dave fired them or they just left. Okay. This does not sound like that at all. Now, I've written press releases for a lot of bands. If bands are going to really have it, if they have an issue with somebody, generally speaking, those band members are gone. They don't go through the motions of, hey, I'm taking a leave of absence. And I can't recall in Megadeth's entire history where people just took a long leave of absence like this. I could be wrong, but I've never seen this before. So folks, everybody that's getting their panties in a bunch over, is Kiko going to be gone? Is he not going to be in Megadeth? Don't jump the gun too early on this. And the reason I say that is I think, personally for me, I think it's 50-50 whether he's back or not. And let me explain why. In every press release that I have ever written about a band where a band member was dismissed from the band, okay? Yeah, there's reasons that are cited in each one of those press releases. But let's be honest, folks, none of these press releases ever tell the entire story. They don't exactly lie as far as saying anything false. Like, you might see something like, hey, I have personal differences, or I have stuff going on at home. When you read into these things, when someone says, hey, I have stuff going on, I have personal reasons, family reasons, things like that. Family reasons may be one of the aspects of as to why that person's not in a band anymore, but there could have also been a dispute. But instead of talking about the dispute in the public eye, what are you going to do? You are going to go and, yeah, you're not exactly lying, but you're not exactly telling everything, basically, right? This does not come off like that. And folks, the first thing that I've ever learned about being a fan of Megadeth is to not get attached to any of the members of the band. Like, I was attached to Marty Friedman. I loved Marty Friedman. And then when he was gone, I was really bummed out. But then you think, okay, Megadeth is Dave's baby. I don't get attached to any of the band members. I think Kiko is probably just as, in my opinion, from a playing perspective, is just as good as Marty, or maybe, in my opinion, Marty Friedman was a phenomenal guitar player, but I think Kiko, from the musician standpoint, he's a remarkable guitarist. He really, really is. And he's pretty close, if not about equal to Marty when it comes to his playing. Okay. And I not only say that as a fan of Megadeth, but I say that as a fan of Angra, because Angra is a great band. They really are. And he was a big part of Angra being as good as they are. All right. So with that being said, I think it's 50-50 he comes back. Let me explain. Family stuff can mean anything. And I get that he doesn't want to divulge what's going on. Who knows what's going on? You could have a very sick family member. He could be getting a divorce. I don't know if he's married or not, but he could have a close relative, that he has to help take care of. It could be anything. Okay. Family reasons is a very broad thing. And Dave Mustaine usually will just part ways with somebody, but he's not parting ways with Kiko. Okay. That should be sign number one, that you shouldn't just completely lose hope and think this guy is not going to be in Megadeth anymore. That's your first sign, right? If you look at the second thing, is how many Megadeth firings have really had a band member coming out and really just saying all the nice things that he said. Okay. Because if you look where it says they have collectively agreed that it is the right move to extend your absence. Normally, if Dave didn't want to work with this guy, or it was something they didn't think he could come back from, he would already be out of the band. And he was very appreciative. I mean, I can't remember most former Megadeth members are bashing Dave, right? If you really look at it, most of them bash Dave. Not all of them, but most of them. And most members leave on very bad terms with Dave. In general, that is. Not everybody. But most, I mean, Dave Ellefson obviously left on bad terms. Actually, he tried to sue Dave. Dave still lets him back into the band. And then obviously we had the incident that happened. And Dave Ellefson's a nice guy, so I'm not trying to bash him or anything like that. But, you know, you look at stuff that, you know, other members have said in the past with Dave. Now, there are people that have left where it's just kind of like they're not in the band anymore. They don't explain the reason why. Typically, there was some kind of dispute. Now, I'm not saying that this is happening 100% with this. I don't think this is what's going on. I've been around long enough. I've written press releases for some pretty significant bands. And if any of you who know me know who those bands are. And when you are that complimentary of the people you were working with, of the guy who was essentially paying you in Dave Mustaine, you aren't really looking to leave the band either. Now, I know Kiko played, like, there's this big rumor that, because he played some solos on the last Angra album, he's going to go back to that band. And I can flat out tell you he's probably not, unless he is forced to leave Megadeth. Okay. Now, I will admit to you all right now, I think Angra lost something when Kiko left. He was an integral part of that band. Him and Raphael Bittencourt as a duo are one of the best guitar duos I've ever heard. And I think losing Kiko, you lost a little bit of the soul that was Angra. I mean, they put out some pretty good albums, but I don't think they're as good as the stuff that they were putting out when Kiko was in the band. Now, obviously, the newest Angra album actually isn't too bad. I was a little harsh on it on the Facebook page, but I decided that I was not going to be harsh on it because of the fact that I like to give releases time. And now I'm starting to dig it a lot more. I like to give them time for the music to sink in. So, with that being said, I think it's 50-50 he comes back. Because this problem could be something that could get bigger. We don't know. Hence why I say 50-50. Like if he said, hey, I'm going to take care of some sick relative who might pass away soon, you pretty much know he's coming back. We don't know the extent of what he has going on in his life. We just don't. And to be honest with you, I know a lot of you want to like pry into this dude's life, but it's his personal life, man. Let it rest. I don't think if he was going to be out of the band, if this was that serious, they would have dismissed him. Now, I know a lot of fans like him, but a lot of fans love David Ellefson too. And obviously they got rid of him pretty quick. Now, yeah, it's two different circumstances. However, I will say that I'm going to stick to my guns. It's 50-50 whether he's gone or not. So that's pretty much where I'm at on this subject. Like when you're sitting there, like, look at this. How many Megadeth members that have been fired or have been dismissed or parted ways, how many of them give glowing compliments on Dave Mustaine? I don't know about you folks, but I rarely ever see that. Like, I'm looking. It is incredible to play. I'm sorry, how incredible is it to play and create music in a band you grew up listening to and to share the stage with a guitar legend like Dave Mustaine? Now, this is Kiko Loureiro. He is a guitar legend himself, in my opinion. Maybe not as well known as Dave is, but along with phenomenal musicians like James Lomenzo and Dirk Verbruin. So, I think that Megadeth is hoping he comes back. But there is that possibility that he may not. And that is something, folks, that you need to be prepared for. I'm just looking here. Now, the fill-in guy, Teemu Montesari, great guitar player. I mean, number one, ability-wise, he's got to be pretty good if you're going to play Megadeth stuff, right? Winter Sun isn't a bad band. I like them. Not bad at all. Would he be a permanent member? Who knows? My instinct, I know I'm saying it's 50-50. My instinct is that Kiko is coming back unless something very bad happens. That's what my gut tells me by reading that press release. So, folks, I wouldn't get worried about it right now. I would let it ride. And I will, folks, I would let it ride. I would let it go. I wouldn't be worried. Yeah, you got a very good fill-in guy right now. But I wouldn't jump the gun too much and think that he's leaving. Now, I could be wrong. There could be a press release that comes out next year. But I don't think so. With that being said, though, folks, the last thing I'll leave you with, I hope everything's okay with this dude, right? Like, I don't know him personally. I interviewed him. I think I interviewed him one time. I did. A long time ago. To tell you how long ago that was, Andre Matos was singing in Angra. So this was probably 20-some years ago. Yeah, whenever the Fireworks album came out. Yeah. Or maybe before it came out. I don't remember now. Rebirth. The Rebirth album. I believe that's the album that came out. But I could be wrong. But it was definitely over 20 years ago. I hope everything's okay with the guy. I wish him well. I hope whatever his family situation is, that it gets resolved. And I wish him the best. And I hope he comes back to Megadeth, because I think Megadeth became a better band with him. And if I can see that, and a lot of you out there can see that, I'm sure Dave Mustaine sees that. Plus, Kiko might be really easy and really great to work with. But that's my take on it, folks. And yeah, like I've said, I've dealt with this kind of scenario before. I'll never forget when there was a drummer in a band. I think it was Halloween. They had Mark Cross originally replaced Uli. And I remember when Mark got ill, they really didn't, I don't remember, but we really didn't put anything out there that he was ill. In fact, wait a minute, I could be wrong. We might have put something out that he was going to be out for a while. In fact, I think that's what happened. And then unfortunately, he couldn't continue. And then Mickey D came in and played on Rabbit Don't Come Easy. So this could be something like that. And that's why I'm saying it's 50-50. This problem could get worse, whatever it is. Or it could resolve itself. We don't know. But my gut feeling tells me he's coming back. But it's 50-50. Who knows? If he doesn't come back to Megadeth, then I hope he rejoins Angra. Anyhow, that's all I have for you today. If you like what you see and hear on this podcast, of course, hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video, and feel free to like and comment on this video. With that said, thanks for watching. Stay metal.